Hi everyone, Roland here from APPFormative. Welcome to this tutorial. Apart from laying the groundwork for functions which we'll get to in further videos, the result of this tutorial will already be basic analytics which will show you user behavior. If you have not registered on APPFormative with your user account, do so. Then under My Apps, you can define your new project. Give it a description if you want, and save it. It'll appear on your list of My Apps. Now here you've got your app name, your description, some actions which we'll get into more detail later, but most important right now is the app ID. This is going to be the unique identifier which is going to aid the communication between the backend system of APPFormative and your game. You can click on this little icon and copy this, since we're going to need it in GameSalad. I'm going to hop over to GameSalad now. I've started a new project. We're firstly going to make sure that multiplayer is set to my own server. This will unlock the network features within the GameSalad creator. The first thing we'll do is create a table. Create a new table, and out of habit I usually call it T_analytics. Going to open it, and we're going to make sure that it stays as one row and one column, and as the column header we are going to paste our app ID. It's important to note that your app ID is going to be different to the one that you see here. The app ID is unique to the app that you create. So once you have done this, we can go back to home. We can go to our first scene. So the next step is we're going to create some game level attributes. First one we're going to make of type text. These are going to be the URLs with which your game is going to be communicating with the backend. So I'm going to call the first one send start URL, and into it we're going to type the actual URL, http://www.appformative.com/gs/send_start.mox. Going to create another text attribute. This one we're going to call send event URL. We can copy most of the previous, but this is going to be called send_event.mox. Create another text attribute, call it get status URL. Can copy the first part again. Now it's going to be gs get_status, and at the end we're going to add a parameter. It's going to be question mark ID equals, and we're going to fetch our app ID again, and add that as the ID at the end. So just to recap here, we have the same URL as before, APPFormative gs status question mark ID equals, and then your app ID. Again, this is going to be different for your app. We're going to add one more text attribute and call it AF user ID. Next we're going to go to our Actors tab, create a new actor. I'm going to call this AF start. Open it up, and we can create two integer attributes, self attributes. First one we're going to call first contact. Second one I'm going to call second contact. Now to start with the actual communication part, we're going to start this off with a timer. Very important, we can say after, short delay, 0.2 about, and mark it as run to completion to force all this code to complete. Next we're going to pull in a change table value. Our table is going to be the analytics table. Row 1, row 2, and we're going to fill this with device clock hour. And we're going to switch to our network functions and do a network send table after this. URL we're going to fetch from our game level attributes, which was send start. Table again is going to be the analytics table. Callback attribute is going to be our self attribute first contact. We're going to follow this by a rule. I'm going to label this rule as A. We're going to be checking an attribute, our self attribute first contact. So as soon as first contact returns 1, that means that this communication part was successfully done. Then we're going to do a get table. URL is a get status URL. Table analytics table again. And callback attribute is now the self attribute second contact. This we're going to follow by another rule. I'm going to label this B. It's going to make it easier for later tutorials. In here we're going to be checking our second contact. If that turns 1, then we're going to do a change attribute. We're going to be storing the user ID, which we have now received back. We're going to call it from the table with a table cell value. Table is analytics table, row 1, column 1. And after this, you're going to save the analytics table. This concludes the basic setup that is needed for the formative functionality. You can read it all up on the implementation under the basics, where it's all highlighted as well. So thank you, see you on APPFormative and in the next video.